N.K. Premchandra.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, at the time of introduction of this bill, I have made my observations regarding the constitutional validity of the bill. Unfortunately, at the time of introduction, the Honorable Minister who has introduced the bill has not answered or responded to the questions raised by the members from the opposition. So I hope that the Honorable Finance Minister may respond to the constitutional validity of the bill. Why? Because almost all the learned members have already explained regarding Article 21, violation of Article 21 is there. Since it is a fundamental rights comes under Part 3 of the Constitution, Article 13 will come to play that the state shall not have the right to make any law which abridges the fundamental rights enshrined in Part 3 of the Constitution. That is the only technical objection which we are making in this, even at the time of introduction. I hope that the Honorable Minister may respond to it, and I think the validity or the justification may be done by the Honorable Finance Minister. Sir, when we discuss about this bill regarding the legislative drafting and the drafting error, see, recently the Honorable Chief Justice of the Supreme Court has observed in the open court that it is finding it very difficult to interpret the legislative provisions made by the legislature because it is vague, unclear, indefinite. This is the observation made by the Chief Justice of India in the open court. This is a very typical example for it. Because in the legislative drafting as well as the passing of the legislations, much care, caution has to be taken. I do admit, even by moving the statutory resolution, Gautam ji, you have already stated that this has gone to the standing committee. I do agree. So the way in which we are approaching the legislative process has to be taken very seriously, not only from the part of the government, the entire house has to be very serious about the legislative process. We have to abide by the rules and we have to keep the provisions. Even a full stop, a comma or omission of a particular word will have its own ramifications. That is very well established or very well evident in this legislation also. That is why the Tripura High Court has made their observation, and now we are coming with an amendment, and in the amendment also the same constitutional validity question is being agitated. Therefore, we have to give due importance or significance to the legislative process. That is the first point which I would like to make. Sir, regarding, I am not going to the other technical objections. I request to your good self kindly the objections which I have raised at the time of opposing the introduction of the bill may be treated as part of my speech also. Sir, I have 5-6 suggestions to the Honorable Minister. I also request to the Honorable Finance Minister, please come out with a comprehensive legislation. Why? Because there is a lot of misuse of these provisions of this National Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Act, NDPS Act is there. Misuse is there, abuse of the provisions of the act is there. So a comprehensive legislation amendment is required. I would like to say that is, we have to abide by the principles of 1961 Single Convention that the people have a right to pain relief just as they have a right to protection from the inappropriate non-medical use of opioids medicines. Sir, there is a 1961 convention, single convention, by which it is accepted throughout the whole world that the right to have pain relief just as that of protection, that equal importance is there. So therefore my suggestion is that lot of palliative care units are there in our country and so many demands have come from their side. The first suggestion which I would like to make to the Honorable Minister is a clear-cut definition is required regarding the licit and illicit activities. Licit entity and illicit entity have to be clearly defined. Now the definition clause is vague, not clear and not comprehensive. So my first suggestion is licit and illicit should be distinguished in clear terms, for which an amendment is required, because any person engaged in the cultivation of any cannabis plant for industrial purposes or horticultural purposes under a general or special order issued under section 14 of the Act All these things should come within the definition, otherwise it will be creating so many difficulties. And it also includes any person involved in the administration of treatment to a patient or addict or others where the supply of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances is a medical necessity. That should also come within the frame of the definition. That is the first point. So clear-cut distinction is required as far as licit and illicit. And the second point is that a new clause to be introduced, compounding of offences by licit entity, where the contravention involves acts that do not constitute a diversion. If it is not a diversion, diversion also defined, this definition is there, the intentional dealing and transfer of any narcotic drug, psychotropic substance or controlled substance by a licit entity or any person in his employ or acting on his behalf to another person for illicit traffic is diversion. Suppose if it is not done for diversion, then compoundable, it has to be made as a compoundable offense if it is done by a licit entity. And the third point is, sir, amendment to section 35, no presumption of culpable mental state in case of licit entities. That is another point. Sir, the fourth one is, I'm just reading it, amendment to section 41 to provide certain safeguards for entry, search and seizure involving a licit entity. I'm all talking about the licit entity, not the illicit entity. And also the last point which I would like to make is regarding section 42, to provide certain safeguards for arrest in case of a licit entity, because nowadays so many palliative centers, so many entities and NGOs are there, but unfortunately harassment is also there. In order to have a protective measures for them, a comprehensive amendment in this is highly regarded. Even in the United States of America, in other developed countries, it is well accepted and it is being publicly sold. I'm not supporting that case, but the licit entity should be protected from this.
Not throughout the country, but in certain states of United States.
Yeah, no, in Chicago, last month I was there in Chicago, I have seen
In certain
so many shops.
In certain states. it is.
States, maybe. Public shops are there. I'm not recommending it, but the licit entity for medical purposes and for palliative care purposes, they should be protected. Nowadays, these officers unnecessarily harassing these agencies. That is why I have received so many representations. When the Honorable Ministry is going to introduce this bill, I have received so many representations by which the main sole demand is to have a comprehensive bill so as to have the protection of the licit entity. With these words, I conclude. Thank you very much, sir.